So we're doing the charrette protocol for the anterior humerus. At first, I'm gonna have the patient raise their arm to 45, get a soft fist, and I'm gonna stand here and push down as you're resisting pushing up. Ready? Go. All right, that's a 4 out of 5. So now the first one is gonna be the wrist extension technique. So I'm gonna have my little rubber stopper. I'm gonna come find the top of the axilla. I'm gonna place my pressure hand there with 15 pounds. I'm gonna bring my speed hand, get 10 pounds. I'm gonna push, I'm gonna swing my hips over, and I'm going to snap. All right, the next one, I'm gonna bring the patient's arm out 45, or out 90, up 45, and I'm going to place my hand like this. I'm gonna traction, and then I'm gonna do body drop, A to P. Then the next one is gonna be the anterior humeral head alternate 2. And this is one where I'm gonna have the patient bend her arm, put the back of her wrist along her neck. I'm going to put my hand behind her scapula, and I'm gonna get in here, and I'm gonna feel pushing A to P, feeling for any restrictions or locked motion. And if I find one, I'm gonna do a body drop, A to P. Then the last one is the seated alternate for anterior humerus. And come behind the patient and have them bend their arm, put the back of their palm against their neck. I'm going to reach around, locking my fingers, and I'm gonna have my sternum on their scapula. And I'm gonna push A to P, feeling for any restrictions. When I find some, I'm gonna thrust A to P to break those restrictions. This is the AC joint superior distal clavicle. So I'm gonna be to the side of the patient. I'm going to put their arm with my shoulder in front or proximal to their elbow. I'm gonna come down their clavicle. I'm gonna put my fingers on the distal aspect of the clavicle. I'm gonna feel for springiness. And if I feel springiness, then I'm gonna come, bring my arms down, and I'm gonna pull S to I, do a thrust, S to I. And now for the anterior medial proximal clavicle, I'm gonna come to the, behind the patient. I'm going to place my pinky on their deltopectoral groove, and then I'm gonna bring my other arm, bring my thenar arm, put it on their proximal clavicle, or AC joint. Put my sternum on their scapula, and I'm going to twist and pull, pushing medial to lateral with my thenar on their clavicle. Okay, this is the trigger points. So first two are gonna be subclavius, just inferior to this clavicle, and then the infraspinatus on the back, about 10 to 15 seconds. And then 3 is gonna be the teres minor. Work that out for about 10 to 15 seconds. Then we're gonna go up here to the levator scap. Work that out. That's 4. 5 and 6, we're gonna come down the arm to the deltoid tuberosity, up about an inch, out to the anterior and posterior deltoid. Work that out for a little bit. And then we're gonna come underneath the arm. And I'm gonna go underneath, up, and back towards me. And they're supposed to make a face because it doesn't feel very good. And then after that, I'm just gonna have my posterior hand, and instead of going towards me, I'm gonna go in and hit her scapula. All right, she didn't like that, which is good. The next one I'm doing is the scapulothoracic articulation. So I'm going to take my calcaneal contact and get the inferior angle of her scapula. I'm going to block her shoulder. Oh, that's the next one, never mind. So I'm gonna grab her shoulder like this. I'm gonna squeeze. I'm gonna go up, back, down. Do that a few times. So next, we're gonna do the inferior glide of the humeral head. So I'm gonna find the AC joint, and I'm gonna come just off of it to this little ridge. And with the tip of my thumb, I'm gonna push S to I a few times. Now I'm gonna do the levator scapula tendon. I'm gonna come over to the side. I'm gonna block her shoulder with my sternum. I'm going to pull the other shoulder up and hold it. And on the back, I'm gonna find on the medial border of the scapula, the levator scapula tendon. And I'm just gonna run up and over it with my thumb. Yeah, get that on camera. Cool. All right, so we're gonna do the muscle test for an anterior proximal clavicle. So I'm gonna have the patient here, have the palm face out, and I'm gonna push out. You resist me and push in. All right, 4 out of 5. So now I'm gonna ask the patient, you'll usually have the side you're testing to be down, but now I'll do the adjustment on her left side. So here, I'm gonna put my thenar on her AC joint. And this is if it's just an anterior clavicle. And I'm gonna body drop medial to lateral. If it's an superior, I'm gonna come this and push it posterior lateral. And if it's an inferior, I'm gonna come here and push it superior lateral. And then once I make the adjustment, I'll have them lay back on their back and muscle test again. Palm out, push against, 5 out of 5. Wonderful. Now for the bicipital tendon adjustment, I'm going to find the patient's biceps tendon. I'm going to dig in to hold it while their arm is on their chest. And I'm going to bring their arm out, keeping that tension so it doesn't slip. When I get out here, I'm going to adjust lateral to medial, pushing that biceps tendon back in the bicipital groove. This last one for a proximal or a posterior humerus, I'm going to ask the patient to lay on their stomach. I'm going to have the patient's arm back like this, soft fist. If you could hold it as high as you can, I'm going to put my hand on our arm, stabilize with this, and I'm going to push while you resist. All right, that's a 4 out of 5. So now I'm going to bring the patient's arm out and come down the posterior aspect. And then I'm going to body drop P to A. And to check the adjustment, we're going to muscle test again. Hold that as high as you can. Stabilize, push, and resist. And that's a 5 out of 5.